Okay, so for this one, we're going to look at distributing binomial times a binomial. So a binomial, again, if you remember, it's terms. Nomial means terms, and binomial means two. So two terms. A term is a constant like 2, a variable like x, an exponent like squared, plus minus something in the middle there so that it becomes a nomial. So there's more than one term and something going on with them. And so we have 2x squared, and I'm going to give it like, let's say, plus 2. And then I'm going to do like x plus 3. We'll just keep signing something we know easily. And so let's start with the first term of the first binomial, and let's factor that through to the first term of the second binomial, and then the second term of the second binomial. So let's rewrite that as 2x squared times x. This right here is this first one I'm doing. And then I'm going to do plus, and I'm going to say 2x squared times 3. So 2x squared times 3. Okay, and then now the second one comes into play. And now I've got 2 times x and 2 times 3. So I'm going to write that as 2 times x plus 2 times 3. And so I do the math here, and I end up with 2 times 1, and then x squared and x. So one way to look at this is 2 times x times x times x. And that's going to give me 2x cubed. And I'm running out of space. I'm going to write it down here for that one there. So the second one that we had was a 2 times a 3. What's 2 times 3? It's 6. So plus 6. And then I still have x squared here. I have no x's there, so I'm just going to write 6x squared. And that's the first one we've done. So I first factored it all through, and then I kind of combined stuff, and then I rewrote it at the bottom here. Now I'm working on this 2 times x, which is just 2x, so I'm going to add plus 2x. And then 2 times 3 I know is 6, so there's a 6 there. Now I'm looking for like terms. I notice here I have a 2x cubed, and really I'm paying attention to exponents. And I want to make sure that eventually I get them in order, from the large exponent to the smallest exponent, and the constant at the end, and then alphabetic, of course. But I'm looking to make sure that I don't have another x cubed, because you can, if it was multiplication, I could combine more stuff. But when you're looking at addition or subtraction, you got to pay attention to those exponents and the bases. If I don't have other x cubes, they're not like terms. So I have an x cubed, I have an x squared, so those are not like terms. I have an x squared, I have an x, those are not like terms. I have a 6, and that's the only number I have, so there's no other numbers. So I have no like terms, so this actually becomes my answer right here. So let's do another one. So sometimes when we see something like this, we don't remember, but we should, that cannot be distributed through. You have to literally write out the parentheses over and over again, and I'll show you why. I'm going to put it in red because it's wrong, I guess, maybe. It does not equal m squared plus 3 squared. And we're going to go through the steps here, and we'll see why it doesn't. So we do an m times an m times a 3, because we got to do the first term of the first binomial times the first term of the second binomial, and then the first term of the first binomial times the second term of the second binomial. I know that's a lot of wordiness. All right, so which gives us m times m for the first one. And then we're going to add that to 3 times m for the second one. And now I've got to do the next one, which we'll do in green. And let's see, 3 to the that and 3 to the 3. So I'm going to go with plus 3 times m, and then plus 3 times 3. And I ran out of space. No! But we know it's 3 times 3 there. All right, so if I go ahead and start putting things through, I know that m times m is m squared, because there's 2 m's there. Plus 3 times m gives me 3m. Plus 3 times n gives me another 3m. Plus 3 times 3 gives me 9. Just simplifying the parentheses now. But I notice now I do have like terms. I have a 3 to the m and I have a 3 to the m. The number doesn't matter. It's that they're both m to the first power. I mean, this could be a 4m and a 3m, and I could add those. So I'm going to end up with m squared plus 6m plus 9, and that's my answer. So the last one I want to go over is something with a negative sign. So let's do m, I don't know what I want, m&ms, I love m&ms. m plus, let's actually make that a 2m plus 5. Let's make this one an m minus 2 and see what we come up with. So let's go with a blue and go first to the first to the second, which ends up giving me 2m cubed, because when I multiply, I add exponents. And then I got to pay attention to this negative 2 here, and that's why I want to look at a negative. I have a negative 2 times a positive, and a negative times a positive gives me a negative. So I'm going to put negative numbers. So 2 times 2 is 4. M squared times there are no m's there is going to give me another m squared. Okay, so that's the first part there. Now let's look at the second one here. And we're going to go with a positive number times a positive number. Positive 5 times m gives me 5m. A negative number times a positive number. So I got a 5 times a negative 2. So I get a negative 10. So now I've got to just look at my work here and see if everything is in order. There's m cubed, m squared, m, nothing I can combine, no like terms, and then this is my answer. That one was pretty easy. Okay, so for this one, I just want to show another way to look at this, is that you have two binomials, 2x plus 5 times x squared minus 6. So I'm going to take the first term, and I'm going to write the first term out this time, and then I'm going to rewrite the other one here like this, and this can kind of help me see what I'm doing, so to speak. And so now the second one I'm going to do the same thing with, and write a 5 times the x squared minus 6. So when I do this now, I can factor it through, and maybe it's easier to see that we're just going like this. And then it all gets combined at the end. So I end up with 2x cubed minus 12x here, and with 5x squared minus 30 there. And so as I look at this, I see that I have some like, no, I don't have any like terms. I got this one, x cubed, x squared, x, and a 30. So there's no like terms there. So really the next step would just be to rewrite it as in order 2x cubed. Then I need my positive 5x squared, and I need my negative 12x, and then my negative 30. And if you notice what I did, I just reordered it and put everything in and got all my signs.